welcome to the Fashion Scoop. You have likely enjoyed films like Padmavat, where Deepika was wearing an opulent lehenga, or Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga, where Sonam reminded us of the old world charm with her really beautiful pastel outfits, and others like Houseful 4, Bhool Bhulaiya 2, recent OTT hits like Made in Heaven 2, and Heeramandi, the Diamond Bazaar. Well, that's the highlight of our episode today. And, before that, I would love to make you meet the beautiful brains behind all these costumes and designs. So please welcome Rimple and Harpreet Narula from the label Rimple and Harpreet. Hi, Rimple.
Hi.
Hi,
Harpreet.
Priyanka. Thank you
Hi,
for
how are you
having us.
guys?
Very well. Thank you so much. Thank you
Great.
for having us.
Great. It's a pleasure having you guys.
Likewise.
So, before we begin, I ask this question to everyone. What are you guys wearing?
We are
Well, I
just
should have worn something better then. So I'm just wearing a plain white linen shirt, basic denims, my general loafers. That's what I wear every day, mostly. And that's what I'm wearing.
So you're like the Mark Zuckerberg who has one outfit for all occasions.
Probably, I don't know how many white shirts. And usually when I get my size, I just land up buying 4 or 5 of them together because that's what I keep wearing in the summers.
Oh, lovely. And what about you?
because of the heat you see outside, I'm wearing my cool cotton kurta with my cotton pajamas. The kurta has an asymmetrical, a cut to it just to give it a little bit formal look. And then these lapis lazuli, which I happen to pick up on one of my travels to Turkey.
Lovely.
Accessorizing. I knew I was coming to you.
Lovely. Lovely. Great. So, our topic today is actually about costume designing for movies like Bollywood, and they'll tell you all about it because they are the experts. I'm not. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about Heeramandi first because that's like the most recent thing that's really ongoing. We're seeing so many reels and memes and whatnot. So tell me, how was it like working with Sanjay Leela Bhansali? I've heard he's very tough and strict, so we would like to know from you guys.
I've answered this question so many times. I've been asked so many times since the days of Padmavat, which is about nearly 7-8 years back. We've been associated with him. All I would like to say that it's actually an utmost honor and immense pleasure to work with him. There has nobody been like him who understands cinema the way he does. And I doubt if there'll ever anybody be, or I will have the pleasure to work with anyone. We completely dive into his cinematic world and probably enjoy every second of being there. Spending time with Mr. Bhansali is a surreal feeling and can only be experienced if you are in love with cinema and in love with Mr. SLB.
Lovely. What an awesome answer. Okay. So, you guys designed like 300 outfits over a period of 2 years, which I'm assuming is a lot since I don't know anything about costume designing. But how was the experience? Was it difficult? What was the most challenging aspect of this whole process?
So, when you're actually designing a lesser number of costumes or more number of costumes, your research and your homework and, the whole thing is probably to get into that mold. That takes, that's most challenging and that takes the most time. With us, the thing is that, we are like, I'm from Punjab and I've heard stories of Pakistan from my grandparents growing up. We used to have a Urdu newspaper come to a house. And then also, both of us, we just love watching films. So we've seen we've seen all new and old films, and we love watching costumes also in all the movies. So you know like when we are working for Mr. Bansali, the thing is that it kind of gives you the freedom to be away from the very rigid standardization.
Okay.
So that probably is a very most interesting part of working with Mr. Bansali. But once you get that right, then whether you're doing 300 costumes, that's just, that's just kind of like just an extra layer to something that you did for every character as the scene progresses. And it kind of is a very nice, like, we don't want it to, like, I mean, when we knew we are probably on the last costumes, we again had so many ideas, but it was kind of
You're
coming
like,
to an
it is.
end.
This is what
Yeah.
it is now.
You get attached to that project and you live with it for 3 years while they are making it.
Yeah.
So there is a kind of withdrawal that you have to go through.
Lovely, awesome. Talking about characters, whose costume was like the most difficult to make or like the most elaborate, and you guys had to really put your brains, what are we going to do now?
Speaking of characters and costumes, working with Mr. Bansali and his meticulous ways, it's not about, the difficulties which you face with any costume or the character. It's the research which goes into it. Uh, with his extensive approach towards every aspect of the cinema, there is no difference between what you are making in a OTT or it's going to be on Netflix or it's going to be in cinema. It has to be treated with utmost I would say detail and attention to detail, like how Mr. Bansali is. And for that you have to come a long way. Like, you have to put in a lot of research work. And difficulty was not making a particular costume, but getting the nuances of the characters right by doing an extensive research when it comes to the textile, the province, the period of we are talking about. It's very important to be true to what you are going to depict and, the public is going to see.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So you both are from Punjab.
Yes.
Okay, so was it any easier for you guys since you guys are familiar with the space?
Yeah, I guess it's easier because you do hear a lot of stories, and I've always been collecting a lot of old and antique and vintage textiles. We have a huge archive, probably, like more than 1,500 or 2,000 pieces always, and we are always replicating or just picking up motifs and other things from them. And it's like we have so much of choice within what we have.
Yeah.
That, and there's so much to choose from, that is how we get the whole eclecticness of our label, and also the costumes that we make, because we in the same costume or in the same outfit, we could be referring to a Jamewar shawl and a Suzani from Uzbekistan, to a Victorian embroidery, or some opals and all those kind of stones interested, how with kinkoa brocades, everything is all of it is coming together into one, rather than the whole outfit just looking probably coming from just one province and period. We also like it to look influenced from
Got it.
various cultures.
So you derive inspirations from all over the world.
Yeah, all over the world, and travels and old textiles and cinema, all these things come together.
Being from Punjab was definitely a blessing, because we have grown up in those large families where families sit together, eat together and share anecdotes.
Yeah.
Both our grandparents have been from Gujranwala and Rawalpindi respectively. And
High five on that.
Wow.
It's the same
High
for me.
five, same,
Where,
great.
where?
Yes. I mean, I don't remember the exact thing, but my Dadaji keeps telling
So-
me, we are from Pakistan and this, that.
So anything to do with undivided Punjab, it kind of touches a chord inside your heart, and
Yeah.
you are anyways, transported to that era, because all my grandmother's anecdotes just come to life when I hear any story about that. And Heeramandi being projected from the 1940s from the streets of Lahore is actually very, very close to our heart, and we feel it. We've heard stories about it, and now to design for it is an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. So, I want to know this thing. It's like a fun question. So, who amongst the two of you has like the final say? Is there any leader of the project amongst
So-
the two of you?
There are two departments. So where it comes to business, where it comes to what are the steps we need to take, where do we have to open a store or what show or what, all of that mostly is addressed by Rimple,
Okay.
and she has the final word. So she's the boss.
Okay.
And most of the creative work and design related stuff is all handled by me,
Okay.
and I work for her.
So females are the boss.
Yes, the power lies in my hands, so the female power. Yes.
Lovely, lovely. Tell me like a little bit about the men's fashion also, and like also describe like you told us a little bit about the motives, and we saw like so many Anarkalis and like such beautiful outfits. So if you could describe like one or two outfits for us, it would be great. Like maybe the one that Sonakshi was wearing, like the really shimmery sari. I don't know the fabrics, the exact fabrics, was like really pretty. So what actually was like the material or what went into it?
That sari is a basic tulle sari, like a net sari, which is all, there's the all over the khaka that we made was a very beautiful Art Deco textile that we had already in our archives, and we took that style and we made it up with, we did the embroidery with 6-7 kinds of different platinum finished and, sequences, and uh, that's what is giving it that kind of shimmer.
Okay.
And the blouse basically is a vintage small coin purse again, which we had, which was influenced by the petradora, which is a inlay technique.
Okay.
So that we found was very interesting, and it had a bird. Petradora is the same kind of inlay work that you also see, in all these Renaissance and Florence marble inlay
Even the
work,
Taj
even
Mahal,
Taj
I
Mahal.
think. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
all of
Taj
that is
Mahal is
Petradora.
Petradora.
So those motifs were already incorporated into a tapestry, into a small coin purse, which was in
Okay.
a tapestry kind of a fabric, and we saw, and we tried to do something very similar in our own embroidery. So we're trying to, and Heeramandi, as they show, like there's a lot of British influence too.
Yeah.
And obviously there would be a lot of European prints were coming into the Indian market. In fact, they were being force sold into the Indian market from Manchester. Our Indian prints like palampurs and calicos and chintz, they were all going to the Western market, the kalamkaris, and they were very priced there. And their cheaper, industrial prints were coming to the Indian market.
Okay.
So a lot of those European and French prints have been incorporated on the costumes, which were basically used for the day-to-day what all the actors wear. So those are all European prints from those times, which have been replicated.
Got it. So, addressing the question, Heeramandi 2 is also going to be releasing soon. Are you guys going to be designing the costumes for that as well?
We would love to if we are asked to, but it's too soon to talk about it. They just announced
That's
it
true.
yesterday.
Yeah, and we are very
Yeah.
fortunate to be a part of his two mega projects, and we just hope we are repeated again. It's going to be a hat trick then.
Great. Tell me a little bit about some other upcoming projects. Any personal project of yours as well?
So
Like-
we're just on the completion of our Bombay store. We've just been working on the interiors and curating a special line for Bombay, because Bombay, the weather is quite different from Delhi.
Yeah.
They do not experience winter at all.
True.
So, all this while, we've always wanted to have a store in Bombay, and it was long overdue. But we just felt that whenever we open a store in Bombay, it should be absolutely suitable for that difference has to be attained. What you do in Delhi,
Yeah.
it has to kind of work with the Bombay weather and all of that too.
There's always
So
like a
there's a-
Delhi-Bombay rivalry
Yeah.
going on.
No, but there
Yeah.
is, see, it's very similar, but then there is a little bit of a lifestyle, and so there is like Delhi's dominated by Punjabis. Bombay also there are Punjabis, but there are also a lot of Gujaratis and a lot of there is somewhat cultural difference is there, and we wanted to get that right. and it took us a lot of time in curating the collection for that store, and we are still in the process of completing decorating the store. That is what has kept us busy post Heeramandi. So that's a very special project to both of us.
How did you guys meet Mr. Bhansali in the first place? How did all this start? Like, how did you get your Padmavat project?
How did we meet Mr. Bansali is something which Harpreet has been manifesting for many, many years, I believe, since the manifestation topic is so hot everywhere. We had just about finished our couture week, the India Couture Week, and it's a very light-hearted, funny story that we were all sitting and Harpreet was. We just finished the couture week and we were all very happy because apparently it went very well. And Harpreet goes out in the crowd with our friends and says, well, "This is all right, but when am I going to work with Mr. Bansali?" And everyone just looked at him and was like, "All right, we just finished a milestone in our life. We will. Hopefully we will." And it was over. The question was answered. Suddenly, I get a call from somewhere. I'm sure somebody must have shown Mr. Bansali one of our Couture Week shows, and they probably had selected us thinking that let's meet them. And for me, it was like, it's too unreal for somebody calling me from SLB office, and I couldn't believe myself that it's actually happening. And until a week passed by, and they called again that we just asked you that Mr. Bansali wants to meet you, so can we align a meeting?
You thought it's a fake call?
I actually, to
Oh,
be
man.
honest,
Because it was too good to be true.
probably
right?
was
Yeah.
too good to be true.
And we were a relatively much lesser known label when they got us for Padmavat on board. We were like, I don't think we were really that well known. Probably, if you compare it to today, and I mean the credit goes to Mr. Bansali. I mean, when he met us, he just gave us the film in maybe 10 or 15 minutes max.
His unwavering trust in us and the fact that he trusted us when we were so new, only in a meeting of probably 15-20 minutes and talking to us, we did a little bit of preparation, and we took a few things which we had collected over the time. A lot of our vintage fabrics which we've collected in our travel, we put them in a suitcase, and we were so excited we couldn't control our excitement. Which
Were
we
you
took.
also nervous?
Of course.
No,
Of course, I was nervous.
No, I was not.
Oh, you were
nervous.
not nervous. Okay.
He's very calm, actually. So
Nice.
I get excited soon and I get nervous also. So, but we were very excited to meet him. And it was then when he put his faith and trust in us and gave us this project, which was larger than life, is when I realized that it is meant to be, and all thanks to him for trusting us.
So the manifestation came to life.
True, yes.
Lovely. So all the other projects that you did and the other movies and the OTTs that you worked for were after Padmavat?
Yeah, Padmavat was our very first project,
Okay.
and I remember so clearly the first look test we did was with Ranveer Singh, which went off really well, and
How was it meeting Ranveer Singh? We want to know about that.
You know what he is, what
Yeah.
he's off screen, on screen. He's a brilliant actor. The way he transforms, I mean, I've worked with him very closely in Padmavat, and I've seen him transform himself to the character of Alauddin Khilji, which was surreal when I was actually seeing it on screen, and even off screen. He was so immersed in the character that I actually started calling him Khilji for that short while. Otherwise, he's a fun person, extremely humble, loving, and too much fun to work with.
Lovely. Which other actors have you worked with that you really enjoyed? Like, apart from Ranveer?
Deepika was fantastic to work with, and I would say so was Aditi, even in Padmavat also, and in Heeramandi also. She's so beautiful, and
Oh, yeah. You guys have worked
Yes,
with her
with her
twice.
twice.
Yeah.
Nice.
and I mean, I absolutely loved the grace and the way Manisha ji wore all the outfits, and like we were always so excited to have something really special and nice made for her.
Yeah.
So with all of them, it's been a very nice and very different. With all of them, once you know your muse, you also have a different take to give. And also there is this muse, this actor, and then there is the character that has been written, and every character has their own kind of something that so all of that helps us create a costume and give a certain style to all the actors.
So, when we talk about costume designing for the movies in particular, do you think once like a designer gets such an opportunity, they become more credible? Does that happen?
Well, India is a country where there is only two things which people follow and look upon is cinema and cricket.
That's true.
And
Politics also, I feel. Yeah. Considering that we are going through the election
oh yeah,
time
but
right
that's
now.
probably
That's probably
every 5 years
that is
or-
once in 5 years, but
But otherwise, you know how cinema is so big and how the cricket. So I would not say that yes, you seek validation from them, but showing the world through the world of cinema of what you are capable of doing is an opportunity to instantly connect with the audience. And once you connect with the audience, you just earn their love. That's what I feel. That's the opportunity a designer gets to connect with the audience. I mean, that's what we witnessed. Through all thanks to Mr. Bhansali, through Padmavat and Heeramandi, the kind of love which is pouring in, not only from India but all over the world, across borders, everywhere and anywhere where the Indian diaspora is there, and the kind of calls we're getting, emails. My house was full of flowers. So many people had sent flowers for it. I mean, it's really unreal the kind of love which is pouring in.
Lovely. When we talk about cinema, so the thing is that when you're designing costumes for like a character, it's not just the character. You have to show their feelings, their expression, a lot goes into it. So is it difficult to bring all that to life? Because it's not just the person, it's like so much that's about them that you have to portray even through what they are wearing.
so we always get a chance to go through the script when we are working with Mr. Bansali, and we see the kind of detail and the kind of notes that are attached to it. The characters, their backstories, why he did a certain thing is not just like it's there is always something that is seeded in the, and it's so well written and so like uh, detailed, and every character would have their own idiosyncrasies, I would say. So what happens is that when you're reading the script, the ideas kind of keep flowing in, and you can see so many layers that you also want to give those layers of textures to your costumes, to which kind of works with that particular. If you see Padmavat, all the three characters, whether it was like there was a Ratan Singh and there was a Khilji, and they were both absolutely different, and so were they as people, and so were their costumes. So but here in Heeramandi, like they're all Tawaives, living in the same area, but they all have like all of them have like something which has their own story
Yeah, they
going
have
on.
their own
So
personality
there
altogether.
are a lot of subtle details and differences in all the costumes as well, and it kind of actually comes into play when the director, the filmmaker, and the writing, that kind of also helps
So
us
the script
contribute a
is
little.
very important, like
Yes.
for an actor or for a costume
Yes,
designer or for
it
everyone.
it kind of you know it kind of fuels the creativity for every department, and that finally comes together on camera.
Funny how people don't read anymore.
They just
Still,
want to
still
see.
the readings are so
So,
important.
costumes or clothes for that matter, even what we wear, take a cinematic narrative forward. You instantly know what you see on the screen by the look of what your character is wearing is what is being told or depicted. I always explain to a lot of people when I'm asked that what is the role of the costumes. I feel that even if it's a multilingual movie or something which is playing on mute, but looking at what the people are wearing actually takes you to the world they're trying to show.
Okay. So the fashion portrayed in movies also becomes like a powerful tool to break stereotypes. Like I remember Sharmila Tagore's bikini moment in An Evening in
Yeah.
Paris. And, there are so many more moments that came after that. Even like how celebrities dress today tells a lot about their opinions and views and things that are happening around the world. I wouldn't go to what's happening around the world. We are strictly a fashion podcast, so we'll stick to the fashion of it. So, what are your views on it? Do you think it's helpful? Do you think it's not?
So, there's a good and a bad side to it. Um, like how fashion and this whole thing of the airport looks and too much of pictures coming of certain uh, uh, influencers or stars or people, on Instagram to just grab attention and likes and numbers is kind of making the whole thing look very frivolous. But then off and on, there are definitely people who, kind of bring a sense of amazement by the way they present themselves. And I just feel lesser of the appearances would be way better. Is a better way to, and even how they used to be so many shows earlier, and those fashion shows used to have a novelty value today. But then, like in the 1990s and early 2000, people would still want to go to a show. Today it's so difficult for any designer to really bring in people, and the people they want to come to bring them and watch your show. There's no novelty value attached to it because of Instagram. And I just feel it needs to slow down a little bit so that people can enjoy and the good quality of whatever is done can be maintained.
I think you're right about the airport looks and the shows and everything. But I feel when it comes to like stereotypes and breaking them, then fashion can be like a powerful tool. Like I remember so many instances like Diana's revenge dress. So, it caused like so many waves, and like, these things have a meaning attached to it, and then people resonate with it and they're like, wow. So,
Because Priyanka, fashion is not a trend. People tend to confuse fashion with trends. There are two separate things. Fashion is an expression, and fashion is a moment. Fashion is something what a designer is feeling and wants to express on the runway or elsewhere. Or a person who has a great sense of style wants to actually show to the world through the medium of fashion of what one feels. That's what fashion is. And trends are something which are set, which are like the color of the year or things like the silhouette of the year and things like that. So there is a difference between fashion and trends.
absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that. So, before we move on, I would like to ask this last thing. How's the behind the scenes, the BTS moments of designing costumes in a movie? Do the actors also play a role? Is it very like messed up? What is it?
So the thing is that we are based in Delhi.
Yeah.
We are the only active costume designers who work from Delhi. And so it gets even more difficult. There have been so many times, the shooting, the garment is always going, one of my fellows is going to do a cargo at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night. And we're just calculating ki itne baje flight jayegi and itne baje pahunchegi. And they're, from Bhansali Productions or somebody's waiting at the airport when the outfit is, like by the time the makeup is actually getting completed is by the is when the outfit is reaching and is getting ironed. And
It's very stressful.
we have a very nice dress dada there, and we have fantastic wardrobe supervisors there who take care of all of that. But like that is what kept happening in Heeramandi, because there was so much. That's where, because it's like working with 15 actors, and uh, and all the scenes had so many actors in them, and then something or the other. But then see, like, you just want to give them all, like,
your best.
Yeah,
And
your best
you know
and
what is
that
the
kind of.
adrenaline rush is what you experience doing these costumes. There is a camera. I mean, it's so amusing and it's so amazing at the same time. There is a camera, and behind the camera is the chaos or the pain or the problems, and in front of the camera is this beautiful setting in which the gorgeous actress wearing the best outfit has to act, and everybody, right from the director to the costumer to every small spot boy, makeup, hair. I mean, kudos to the team, how they make it happen. And we happen to be a part of this team, again chosen by Mr. Bansali. Fortunate to be there and see the result on screen. But behind the camera, just forget about it. I don't want to talk about it.
And what happens to the costumes after? Like,
So they are all
Acha, they all-
archived by the production people. They are all kept very nicely in the paties. In fact, I told Mr. Bansali, I said, you've been doing the most beautiful
Iconic costumes.
costumes
Yes.
and sets and
Yeah.
lamps, chandeliers and everything. Like I feel those things must actually be put into a museum, and a retrospective
they
should be
can go
done
to
so that.
NMACC.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
or archived
Yeah.
and open to public to see, because they are breathtaking.
Yes, all of that should actually, I feel, should, it should one day open. It should be open and people should get to see really in person what those things are like.
Absolutely, especially the young aspiring artists, directors, or maybe fashion students. That'd be a great idea. I would just
There is so much to learn from that there.
So you guys have been in the industry for so long, and you just spoke about like the young and upcoming designers. What is one advice if you had to give to them? What would it be?
When I work in my company, and I have a lot of designers working with me, and their assistant designers as well, the only one thing I tell them all the time is, do not open Instagram or Pinterest actually now and look at one very obvious reference, or even when you're making a mood board, and come to me, because that is going to be used by 500 more people who could be working on something similar. So just look for archival textiles and cinema, or find what interests you, rather than just going to very obvious places. And do not look at works of other designers, because what is trending has already trended.
trended.
Yeah,
it
that's
won't
true.
it won't work for you.
I think that's with everything. Even if we are writing like an article and we see like references, it's not going to be fresh.
So adding to what Harpreet said, it's technology is definitely is in your favor when you know how to use it, but when you overuse it, it's not going to take you anywhere. It's going to only pollute your mind and make you sound like something which is very common. What you need to do is what these children need as advice, and my own son, which I try to tell him, that there are no shortcuts. Hard work is the key to success. You have to go through the grind. You'll be very fortunate if you have guidance. Like Harpreet and I are not any film school or any fashion school. We've learned and experienced it over the years
On the job.
on the job and learned through our mistakes, definitely. But success is slow, but it's very sweet when you get it like that.
Now you're enjoying the fruits of your success. Nice.
Just have gratitude for whatever we've got, and we try to continue do this good work, and just the journey has just begun.
Great, lovely. Before going towards the end, so we recently had the Cannes Festival, and there were a lot of reels trending that it has become the Cannes Fashion Festival, not the Cannes Film Festival. What do you guys think about that?
Honestly, I know you'll not believe that, but I didn't get a chance to see who was wearing what, because I
Oh,
only look
really?
at Indian clothes and folk and all of that. So this kind of did not get my attention, but maybe she might know.
So you are just putting the gun on my shoulder.
No, but then I really never saw it. I don't know who wore what and who is who.
So you're not active on Instagram?
No, I am, but
Okay.
I could be following weird people, but I'm not looking at typical all of this.
Oh, lovely. What about you?
So, no, I did. I honestly, I'm addicted to Instagram, to be honest. And my drive from my house to my work is 1 hour. So thanks to Instagram, it keeps me busy. I I did actually look at all the looks. Some of them were very nice, honestly. But yes, it has become more like a red carpet oriented, and the pressure of making a statement and capturing that 1 minute of attention, or rather 1 second of attention, and on the carpet has become like the goal. I don't know, and I seriously doubt if people have actually looked at the films and critiqued them, or did pay attention to what film is being talked about. I don't see any harm in it. Just, I think they should divide the carpet. There should be one red, one green, one blue. So whoever is there, no, not naming anyone, but whoever is there for what purpose, I mean, they should just solve the purpose by dressing up on one carpet and actually going to see the films on the other carpet. We'll enjoy both.
Makes sense. Yeah, we'll enjoy both.
Oh, yes, we'll enjoy both.
And see all the highlights on
I'll
Instagram.
have more time for my Instagram, and I'll enjoy it.
Nice. If one, celebrity or influencer had to be dressed in Rimple and Harpreet for the Cannes or the Met Gala, who would it be? Who would be your pick?
With cinema, I think we've been very, very fortunate thanks to Sanjay Leela Bhansali. I have dressed one of the most gorgeous women ever our industry's had, starting from Deepika to Aditi to Manisha ma'am to Richa, to all of them actually. We've been able to dress, so even the men for that matter. So I'm happy with dressing them in cinema, but if the need of the hour wants me to dress any of them for Met Gala or the Cannes, I think anybody who would fit into our sensibilities and would agree to wear something more Indian on the red carpet and will be proudly flaunting the Indian heritage, textiles will be our muse.
Lovely. A lot of them are doing that actually. Even Alia Bhatt was seen in a sari.
Oh,
at
and
the
she
Met
looked
Gala.
wonderful.
Yeah, lovely. Great. So that's the end of our conversation. But before we end, we play like a small fashion game, like a fun game.
I knew it was
So
coming.
yeah. So we're gonna do that. Okay, fine. So let's start the game. And you guys are free
You have to
to
give
like
us the answer first. We don't want to get caught in the wrong
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
It's a fun game, don't worry. It's nothing serious. Okay. So, talking about legendary Bollywood actresses, who do you think had the best sense of style out of these? Sridevi, Rekha ji, or Madhuri Dixit?
Rekha ji.
What about you?
Rekha ji.
Lovely. Did you see her cover for Vogue?
Yes, we did. Arabic,
Amazing.
yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Lovely.
I think it was a lot of her personal style involved in it.
Absolutely. Which Bollywood or Hollywood director would you like to work with next? It can be anybody from Hollywood as well.
So, in India, obviously, it would be Mr. Bhansali. Hollywood, Buzz Luhrmann, the one who directed Elvis recently.
Nice. Lovely. Yours is the same.
No, mine is Mr. Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and that's it. I want to just keep working with him till he wants to work.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Lovely. What is your all-time or recent favorite movie that you guys love watching?
The last, I think, it's just a little melancholy in the movie, but I like Guide, watching it again and again. Whenever I'm, just feeling it, like, I just watch Guide, and I don't know, I just put myself in that state and just love that feeling, that little pain I go through when I watch
Guide
it.
is my favorite film as well. But I also like watching Chupke Chupke a lot, Dharmender
Oh, nice.
and Amitabh
nice.
Bachchan.
Lovely.
And recently, the OTT has a lot of new
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
which I'm enjoying, just binge watching.
Yeah. I love Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte, and I love watching
Oh,
all of
yeah,
that.
that
Have you
was-
guys seen?
yes, I've
any of
seen
that?
it.
I like Crown as well.
Oh, yeah. Even I enjoy
But right
Crown.
now, I'm just watching Heeramandi daily, every day.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should design outfits for Bridgerton also. It'll be so
that'll be
amazing.
nice, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so an accessory you think elevates any outfit? A statement bag, confidence or no accessory at all. Just let the outfit shine.
No, that's not true. I think sometimes it goes hand in hand. I mean, confidence being number one, that's essential. Confidence is something which you have to carry. Besides that, if you have the right match of your accessory with your outfit, and your outfit is not very heavy and your accessories, you need an accessory to accessorize it, it's nice. But if you're going for an OTT outfit, like which is just over the top, I think you can lay low with the accessories.
I don't wear any accessory, but I just like to use a good perfume.
Men are a lot into accessories these days.
Yeah,
I think you
but
should start
I'm a
wearing.
very simple. I don't use any accessory at all. But definitely I'm fond of good perfumes,
Okay. And for him, confidence is the key. Yeah, right?
I guess.
Nice. Okay. If you had to collaborate with an international brand, because collaborations are the trend or, right now, who would it be?
Internationally, I'm very fond of the brand called Ethro. I kind of feel our brand resonates with somewhere there can be a synergy. Rest, yeah, I'm going to put it in the universe. Let's see who is the
Yes.
international brand we can collaborate with.
If you guys end up collaborating, do remember me and the podcast because it
Yes.
happened here. It all started here.
100%. We will have a special gift arriving at your office.
Yay. Okay, can't wait. Okay, fine. So that was the end of our episode. Before we end, let's just say the famous line of Heeramandi that's really trending on Instagram right now. Let's do it all together.
Which is?
Which is एक बार देख
Oh,
लीजिए.
ek baar dekh lijiye.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to do that, but after that, I hope we're not going to do the Gajgamini walk, no?
No. No, that's gonna be it.
Thank you. Then
Okay,
I would do
fine.
that for you.
1, 2, 3, let's go. एक
एक
बार
बार
देख
देख
लीजिए,
लीजिए,
दीवाना बना दीजिए, जलने को
है
है
तैयार,
तैयार,
परवाना
परवाना
बना
बना
दीजिए. Okay, guys, thank you so much. That was the end of our episode. You can email us on pods@indiatoday.com or text us on 8588 966 996. Thank you.